Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video might be seen and shared. Celine Driver coming to you once again with another collection overview, if you will, a mini state of the collection. Only going to be focusing on one brand, Zelos, and one particular model line, the ZX line, my favorite line of Zelos watches. And currently the most number of watches, Zelos watches that I own for one particular grouping is the ZX line. And I've loved this line ever since they first came out. I think the first one that I picked up was this guy right here, ZX5. But obviously I've expanded the collection. I have in front of you here, and I'm doing this because of the recent pickup of this watch, the ZX Hong Kong edition, which I recently did a video on, to give you a brief overview of the extent of the ZX lineup, which I think is one of the bigger lineups that Zelos has ever produced. I think only the Hammerhead lineup has a more prolific presence in the well, probably the Swordfish as well, but the ZX is right up there. Now, the ZX lineup consisted of 8 watches, ZX1 through 8. They were produced in both automatic and quartz versions. I have on the table here in front of me one example each of ZX1 through ZX8, plus a few, 4 special ones, which I'll go over in a minute. But starting over here with the ZX1, this is the titanium case with the black dial, with the white subdials, or frost if you prefer. This one is an automatic. And that would be ZX number 1. ZX2, get that over here. ZX2 is the blue dial, in this case, blue dial with blue subdials, also in titanium. This one is one of the quartz watches. And you can see there was a slight difference in the quartz versus automatic. You can see the constant seconds is at the 9 o'clock on the automatics, but it is at the, let me see if I can remember this right. It's at the, it's at the 6 o'clock on the quartz watches. And the automatics are all Valjoux 7750s. The quartzes are all VK64s, I believe. And they all have the solid case back with the X15 plane that the ZX pays tribute to on the back. So keep that in mind. Here's the ZX3 titanium case with a meteorite dial, and this one is also quartz. I mean, if I had the opportunity to get one of these in automatic as well, I probably would go for it, but I'm fine with owning 3 quartz, and the rest are all automatics. ZX4 is basically the same as the ZX1, except that we're obviously gotten into the bronze watches. Now, these originally came with brown Horine leather straps with a bronze buckle. Later on, Zelos did come out with 20 and 22 millimeter bronze bracelets with the stainless steel underside for skin purposes. And these are obviously an older class design, the fold-over double lock class with the manual micro adjusts. And they were universal fit. Obviously, if you look at the titanium bracelets, they are a fitted bracelet at the lugs, whereas the bronze bracelets that Zelos came out with are universal fit with a straight lug design. But I did equip all of my bronze ZXs with bracelets, and the ZX5 is somewhat the mirror of the ZX2 with the blue dial, except this one obviously came with the white subdials. ZX6 is the meteorite, is the equivalent of the ZX3 with the meteorite dial, only obviously we have the bronze case, and instead of blue rings around the subdials and trim around the indices, we have sort of a rose gold, a faux rose gold. It's not real rose gold. And this one is a quartz watch as well. I have replaced the batteries on the quartz watches over time. I think two of them went out relatively close to each other, and the other one went out sometime later. They're not hard to do. You just need they're a screw down case back, so you just need the proper tool to get the case back off, and then you just pop in a standard button battery. Now we get into more of the fun watches over on this side. These are some of the more rare ZX watches. You have the ZX7, which is an automatic. And the only one I have here on one of two I have on a strap. There's a reason that this one is on a strap. This one I could put on a titanium bracelet if I wanted to, but they don't make a Timascus titanium bracelet, so I put it on this Collareb leather strap. And this is, of course, a Timascus or titanium Damascus case, which is a Damascus is a method of folding metal over and over again, which creates these unique striations in the metal. And then these are heat treated to 900 degrees Celsius, I believe, to get the blue effect on the case. The dial is basically the same as the ZX1. I know there are other Timascus ZXs with slightly different dial treatments. This is the one that I ended up owning. I believe there's only 25 of these. I think that's on the back somewhere. 40 of them. Still quite rare. ZX8 is the last of the retail offerings from Zelos. This one is referred to as the Blackbird. Now, there are different subdial styles on the Blackbirds. I believe there were only a few of these. Let's see if it says on the back here. It probably should. You'll probably see it before I will. 40. Okay. The reason they're called Blackbirds, or the SR71, is because the dial is made from the metal of what are called the turkey feathers of an SR71 engine. When you see a jet engine go to full throttle or afterburner, you see the nozzles kind of spread open like that, and the military calls those turkey feathers. And Elshin got a hold of some of those turkey feathers and turned them into watch dials for the ZX lineup, and that is the SR71. Now, the last of the quote-unquote retail ZX watches that came out was a skeleton. Now, this was not offered on the website, but it was offered for retail sale. There are only 5 of these. I did not buy this new. I did buy this off of another Zelos fan like myself. He gave me the opportunity to buy it. He gave me a reasonable price. I said absolutely. And money was exchanged, and I have one of the 5 ZX skeletons. Now, one unique feature of the skeleton you may notice is the addition of a 4th subdial. This is a date subdial, in addition to the running seconds and the chronograph minutes and hours subdials of the other ones. The ZX skeleton added the date wheel. Otherwise, it is a ZX, and it has a unique rotor to the skeleton. It's a little different from the other rotors. Same bracelet as the titaniums. It is a full titanium watch, but there are only 5 of these. This one ain't going anywhere. That was probably to date my best get, or certainly one of the top 3 gets from my Zelos collection. We also have a 1-of-1 piece. This is called the Spitfire. The reason it's called the Spitfire is the metal on the dial is from a Spitfire, Supermarine Spitfire, World War II British fighter that was being restored. You can see there's some damage to the metal, well, not damage, but patina to the metal. This was Elshin's personal watch. I bought it off of him. I nagged him for, I want to say 3 months, because he was sort of talking about selling it in conversation. I nagged him about it for 3 months. He finally agreed to sell it. He refurbed the watch, so it was more, so it was like new. Made sure the movement was good and everything. And I bought it from him. Yes, I paid money for it. He did not give this to me. I paid him good money for it. And this was the watch that, there are other Spitfire watches now, but at the time, this was the only one. There are Spitfire dials on, I believe, the Sky Raiders and the Starfighters. But this was the first one. This was the one that he sort of experimented with before he decided that he could do it on other watches. There were 2 prototype watches offered for sale in one of the infamous Zelos midnight clearance things. I missed the clearance because I was asleep when he did it, because obviously there's a time difference between Singapore and Eastern United States. So I missed the opportunity to get this watch when he first offered it. The person who did buy it kept it for a while and then offered it to me, and of course I bought it. The last I heard of the other one, it was owned by Joshua Evil Sizer, who I haven't seen making a lot of videos, any videos lately, even though he was doing videos on YouTube. I haven't seen him do any lately, but I know he has the other one, or at least he did. And Josh, if you're watching this video and you want to get rid of that other prototype, you know how to get a hold of me, sir. I did put this watch came to me, and you can see the prototype status. It's not engraved. It's a plain rotor. It's a plain Valjoux 7750. It did not come to me with a bracelet or a strap. I put it on a Collareb blue leather strap to match the blue of the dial. And you can see this dial is unique in that it has cutouts for a day and a date function, which obviously didn't make it into production, with one exception, which I'll get to in a minute. The day and date function didn't make it into production. The reason this is not on a bracelet is because the case is different from this case. You can see the case of the ZX 1 through 3 and 7 and 8 are bigger in production and a little bit different than they are in the prototype. But I have one of the prototypes and it works perfectly fine. I mean, you could probably put that into production right now as a ZX Generation 2 and it would work fine. And finally, I have my most recent acquisition in the ZX lineup, one of the 25 Hong Kong edition ZX. This was made in 25 in titanium, 25 in bronze for a boutique in Singapore named Chronos. This watch, and if you want to learn about the travel history of this watch, watch the video I just put out recently about this watch, and it'll go over that. But this watch is an automatic. It is titanium. It is basically the same as the ZX 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, and the skeleton. Same bracelet. The only difference is the chronograph subdials are a different color than the running second subdial, which matches the meteorite, the dark meteorite of the dial. And you have a date function on the watch, which is unique to all the ZXs except the dial one on the skeleton and the day date on the prototype. But that's it. I own all of the, well, I don't own all of them. There is still the bronze Hong Kong, which, yes, I am going to chase that watch. I am going to try and find it, and I am going to try and buy one. But for now, I have all the ones that I've been able to get a hold of. And of the, well, if you don't count the prototype and the Spitfire, there are 11 ZX watches out there that were retail watches, and I own 10 of them. I'm going to get that 11th one, or the 13th one if you prefer. I am going to get a hold of it, and yeah, I am going to try and chase the other prototype. If I can get a hold of that one, I'd love to have that one too. But this has been my overview, and you can tell I'm excited about this. I love the ZX lineup. I always have. I will not sell any of these, so don't ask me. I'm not selling any of them. But I am very excited to own all of them, and I'm grateful to all the people that sold me these watches. Not all of them, only a couple of them came directly from Zelos. All the other ones were picked up from other owners. And I'm grateful to all of them for helping to build this beautiful collection. I hope you found this video to be entertaining, useful, informative. Oh, and by the way, speaking of informative, all these watches have individual videos about them that go into more detail on my channel. All you have to do is search for them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click that thumbs up. It does help with the YouTube search algorithm, helps bring people to the channel, and that is a good thing. Comments, questions, suggestions down below, I do read them all. I do respond to them all. However, if you are going to try to insult me, you are going to try to troll me, or you are going to leave links to bad places on the internet, I'm simply going to delete the comment and block the commenter. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. If you've been here before but you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please click the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button. It's the only thing I ask for viewing this and all the other videos I have. Well over 1,000 videos at this point. And don't forget to click the bell icon too, so when I upload new material, you will be alerted. And as I always say at the end of my videos, it is a crazy old world out there. It is not getting any less crazy, so please be careful out there. Stay safe. Be well. See you soon.